welcome to Lotus Flower Wellness Temple. We are a space of mindfulness, awareness, connection, and compassionate evolution. So yes, we're a community that supports each other. Wherever you are, whoever you are, however you are, we all are supportive of that and that growth and getting back to that conscious awareness of your truth. So, I'm Erin.
I'm Quinn.
Yes, and we're so excited you are here. So whether you're joining us in Temple or on the live here, welcome everyone. We love that you're here, yes. So over the past weeks, we have been noticing our thought patterns. We have been interrupting limiting loops and softening the tone of our inner voice. So today we're going to bring it all together. Today is about identity. Because our thoughts shift consciously, and that changes the way that we see ourselves as well from moment to moment. So as our identity shifts though, life shifts for us. And that's something when you can become more aware of that, as you start to take a little more control over where that mind is going, and you become the guardian more so of your reality by being aware and discerning what you'll allow that ego to be computing for you and your body. And when we don't take active awareness of that, and we don't take that control over it, it may be taking us places that we don't really want to continue to visit. So learning how to take that power back, discern what we choose for ourselves moment to moment, can really shift your life in a flow amazing way.
All right.
Alright, so we're going to get right into the teaching. Most people try to change behavior, but behavior is just surface. Thoughts influence emotion, emotions influence our choices, and repeated choices shape our identity. So the question isn't, what am I thinking? The question is, who am I becoming through these thoughts? When you consciously think, I'm bad at this, you're becoming someone who avoids growth. What you repeatedly think really makes a huge difference. So if you can shift the pattern, what you're saying, take it from being negative self-talk and shift it over to something that's empowering and positive for you, such as, I am learning. You become someone who expands instead of shrinking yourself. So identity is built through repetition. So anytime you start to work on something, of course, you're going to mess up sometimes. Be easy on yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Each time those thoughts come up for you, that is an opportunity just waiting for you to grab it, to make a different choice. And then you have an experience that can teach you, okay, wait, this works for me. So now that experience is bringing some wisdom to you. And you can integrate that instead of continuing to go with that lowly talk, that fear-based talk, that thing that says, oh, well, you can only be as big as you've seen someone else be. When you get that experience, which means you got to step into it, you got to try something that feels a little different, because that's our habitual way, right? We're used to hearing that voice inside of ourselves saying, oh, wow, you always mess this up, da-da-da. When we catch ourselves and we treat it like a child, like you would a child that keeps doing something repeatedly, if you continue after and you stay after yourself and you catch yourself with compassion, you can shift and change that behavior. And then it's going to seem like you're normal to speak highly of yourself, to be empowered. But it's just that little middle ground that's going to take some work, a little adjusting, and then you will rise and grow to that occasion where you're going to speak so kindly that people around you will be empowered. Go ahead, Quinn.
All right.
Buddy.
So if identity is shaped by repeated thought and action, then mindfulness is the doorway to redesign. We often say, that's just who I am. But many identities are inherited, not chosen. Maybe you inherited the anxious one, the responsible one, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, the one who struggles. But awareness allows us to ask, is this identity serving my growth? Identity shifts do not require dramatic reinvention. They require consistent micro choices. Instead of I'm not confident, try I'm practicing confidence. Instead of I always react, you can try I am learning to pause. And another thing, like, if you, even if you look beyond yourself, if you look to the people who you most admire in your life or in general, think to yourself, what does that person think of themselves? Do they think I can't do this? Do they think, oh, that's impossible, I can't, I could never. If so, how did they get to where they are, right? And what can I start thinking to put me on a path like they are on that path, to have the kind of confidence, to have the kind of growth that I've seen in this individual. How can I start to think about me the way I think about them? That person that I think can do anything. That person that I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so amazing, they're so incredible, they grew so much, they came from nowhere, How can you think that way about yourself? So each repetition becomes reinforcement. You are not trapped in who you were, you are building who you are becoming. And with that,
so I used the teaching and wrote a song. People receive truths in different ways. People hear it. Music is so powerful. And so Spirit has started to call me to also touch into that song world, where you can take the same teaching that might seem a little more complex and lay it out there. And so this is something that I wanted to share with you all about today's lesson.
There is a voice that lives inside each of us. It narrates, it comments, it evaluates, it predicts, it critiques. Most people believe this voice is just who they are, but it isn't. It is conditioning, it is memory, it is internalized authority, it is protection mechanisms, and often it is harsh. Notice how easily we say things internally that we would never say to someone we love. You should be better, that I was stupid. You always mess this up, why are you like this? That tone shapes the nervous system. When the inner voice is harsh, the body contracts, distance, creativity decreases, and this is risk taking shrinks, and self-trust weaknesses. But when the inner voice becomes more passionate, the body softens, for celebrates, learning expands, resilience increases. Notice how easily we say things internally that we would never say to someone we love. You should be better, that I was stupid. You always mess this up, why are you like this? That tone shapes the nervous system. Compassionate in a dialogue does not mean pretending everything is fine. And me saying I seen there was one. I am learning, I can adjust, I am allowed to grow. Notice how easily we say things internally that we would never say to someone we love. You should be better, that I was stupid. You always mess this up, why are you like this? That tone shapes the nervous system. The nervous system.
alright. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started with our breath work now. I'm going to start off with something that I've gone through a number of times, but those who are new, you might not know this very well. What's called the infinity breath. So what it is it takes the form of a figure 8, kind of like the infinity sign, and we start by breathing out all that stale negative energy, all that stale air, forming that lower loop, and then we hold in our center. And then we breathe in all of that bright, beautiful creator light around us. And once again, we hold that in our center. And then we begin to circulate. We breathe out and we hold. And that's forming that figure 8. So we're just going to go ahead and do that infinity breath. Everybody can move at their own pace. Hold whenever it feels comfortable to you. Breathe in, breathe out, however long. And as we do this, we are going to, as we inhale, we're going to say, I observe in our minds. I observe. And as we exhale, I choose. And feel free to shift from the automatic breathing to intentional. I know some people have said online, you are breathing manually now. It's okay to breathe manually at this point.
And as everyone is focusing on their breath, if you have your eyes closed, great. If you choose to close them now, I'm going to move into the meditation. Just keep focusing on your breath. And now just imagine an old identity of yourself, okay? You've got 2 identities that you're visualizing right now. Your current and potential, and an old identity. So imagine that old identity shifting by unconscious patterns. Just think of a version of yourself in the past that maybe you have been consciously aware that has grown. And just see that old self of yours. And it may come to you a few things that you changed, that you started to do differently, that now equal this new identity that you have for yourself. So if you can just see that old identity and just kind of see it like growing into this new version that you are by those conscious choices that you made. Now see this new version of yourself just standing calmly and confident. You made some choices, you saw them through, you followed through, and now it has shifted you into a different version of yourself through your own work and your conscious awareness. Now step fully into that version that you are now, that version of yourself. Feel how that version of yourself thinks. Like, how does it feel to be aware of the old version that you have now stepped into this new version? How does it feel different from when you used to be the old version? Does your body feel less tense knowing that you made conscious choices to get here? That you put in effort and work? Notice how your body responds to that question. And just hold space for that truth of seeing that you can consciously enact change in your life and transform the version of yourself based off of what you choose for yourself and what you choose to take action and move forward with, consciously moving forward in your growth. Now just breathe as that person. This is who you are. and just stay there. Just remember the same process can duplicate. You can make new choices. You can grow. You can find other things about yourself that you want to evolve. Just hold that truth within you. All right, so normally Miguel is here, and so normally Miguel would do the Reiki healing of the mind for today. Does anyone want to volunteer? You can be our volunteer.
Yeah. Okay. This week, practice saying, I am not my past patterns. When an old identity voice appears, pause and say, I am building something new. Repetition builds pathways. Awareness builds identity, and choice builds destiny. Alright, we're going to do a bit of sound healing and crystal healing for you guys. So we're going to move around a bit.
I'll turn my phone off real quick. I'm sorry. I forgot to do that. Mistake this morning.
Amazing.
So now we'll go ahead and get started with our intuitive group game for today. So anyone who wants to join us on camera, you can go ahead and sit down with us. We'll go ahead and do the group game.
A little better.
All right.
Perfect.
For this group game, we're going to go ahead and say some sentences about like our identity and how we are, what we have outgrown, what we're stepping into. So to start, one identity I've outgrown is, you can fill in the blank with something that you have outgrown. So is there anyone who wants to start?
I will. Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, please.
One identity that I've outgrown are poor habits.
All right. Okay. One identity that I've outgrown, and this is pretty recent, is guilt and feelings of undeservingness.
One identity that I've outgrown is making myself smaller to make other people comfortable.
My turn?
One identity that I've outgrown is shyness and fear of vulnerability.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, I was actually going to say what you said, but I will touch a little bit on that. For me, I would always blame myself when I would do the wrong thing, you know what I mean? And like really just blame myself. And now, even if I smoke or even if I do something that I'm not so proud of, but at the same time I know I'm moving forward, I don't blame myself. I don't think so badly of myself. I know that it's getting better and I don't have to worry. It's just flow.
All right.
Beautiful, yes.
Next, we're going to say one identity I am stepping into is right. So for me, one identity I am stepping into is an identity where I trust in my intention. You know, that even if I do something wrong, I know that my intention was never bad. I never intended to cause harm. And even if something went wrong there, it's something I can learn from. It's not something that has to drag me down or means that I am deserving of less.
You want to just go back in the same rotation that we did before?
Yeah.
One identity that I am stepping into.
One identity that I am stepping into is embracing new experiences and new people after what feels like a long time of just not doing so, kind of just following in the status quo. So excited time.
One identity that I am stepping into is expression, self-expression, and kindness and patience.
Yes.
You're doing this.
Yes. One identity that I am stepping into more is instead of just seeing the environment, this community, but the whole entire world as the community. I've been feeling called to travel more and connect more in that way. And so yeah, just remembering that because I'm physically here, what we do here deserves to be reached all over the world. So whether I physically take it there or, you know, make sure the resources are available. And that's really big to me because I'm all about harmony for humanity and I want the message to go far and wide. So.
Well, for me, what was the question?
Stepping into your identity.
Okay, yes, okay,
Stepping into.
stepping into my, okay, so, going back to flow, so I would always have to need control, me being a Capricorn rising, so I always try to control my life every step of the way. Now I just go with the flow and I pay attention to the signs, and really close attention. I'm like, okay, I see the 222, okay, perfect, I'm in the line, alright, okay. So
Yeah.
everything is working out exactly as it's supposed to work out, and I just really believe that, and as my day goes on, it's proven to stuff.
It's always working in your favor. Not ever.
Well, before you read this next one, I want to address that Dro, you were already doing this, and you'll see when he reads it.
Yeah, so the next part is for us to say to one another, I see you becoming blank. So just to acknowledge one another and our growth, turn to one of us and say, I see you becoming, and I see you becoming more kind and open and more vulnerable. And I see like the connection between your heart and your mind becoming stronger.
I love it. I wasn't ready for this.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
This is the float part, right?
Yes,
That's what we're talking
exactly.
about.
So mine is for Christine. I definitely see you becoming exactly, it was everything that you said. I've seen your journey, and I'm so proud of you for just standing up to a lot of the fears, the inner fears that kept you from letting your light shine, your voice be heard, and doing the things that you wanted to. And that was the journey for you, was getting yourself to allow yourself to be out there. And I've seen you come so far, and I'm just so proud of you, and I hope that you are so proud of yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make us cry. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Jaime.
Jaime, okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm better with faces, like.
No, yours pretty good.
I'm sorry, man.
No, please.
Okay, so Jaime, I see you becoming super strong in everything that you want to be. I see you going in the flow. I see you uplifting other people. I see you uplifting yourself. And I see you breaking golden habits. So,
Thank you.
I give that to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
No, please.
No, you go next. I'm not sure yet.
Just go with the flow, guys.
Go with the
Yes,
flow.
yes.
Passing a potato.
Exactly.
Aaron, I see you becoming, you're already such a beam of light, but continuing that journey of becoming light to reach out to others and build community like you are right now, bringing us all together.
All right.
I see you as becoming, since the first day I met you, as becoming a healer and growing in the message of healing and harmonizing the community.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right.
And Dro, I see you most definitely thinking all the things that were already a part of you and organizing them in such a way to start doing exactly what you already know that you're meant to do. And you're already doing it in so many different ways, but you're putting it all together. It's like, and I just see something beautiful happening right before my eyes. So, yes, and
And I really like say I like the affirmations on your thumbs right
Yeah,
there.
man, I got him a couple of years back. Stay strong and be yourself, guys.
I love it.
All
Okay.
right.
So while we're here, I'm just going to go over the homework for this week. So this week our homework is to notice when old identity thoughts arise, pause and say, that was old programming, and replace that with your new identity state in regards to whatever it is.
And then the affirmation for this week that you can continually remind yourself, I am consciously becoming.
The journal prompt.
Continually remind yourself, I am consciously becoming. It's very powerful because you're telling yourself, I am choosing. I am choosing what I'm becoming. I'm just not like this collective of things that have happened to me and however it comes out from interaction to interaction. But you're claiming, you're sticking your stake in yourself and saying, I'm choosing how my day is going to go. I'm choosing how my environment is going to interact with me.
Right.
And so reminding yourself of that consciously will make a huge shift in what you experience.
And we've also got a journal prompt for this week, which is, what identity have I been unconsciously protecting? That is, what identity have I been unconsciously protecting? So, what is an identity that you may not realize that you keep up or that you maintain, that doesn't really align with you, that you just kind of hold on to and you cling to, even though it doesn't really fit.
And that journal prompt, just writing it at the top of the piece of paper and being open to coming back if something comes up for you. It could be a word, it could be a doodle, it could be a full sentence, or you could just start channeling. But if you give yourself a shot, you write that there, it's there. If anything comes up, don't second guess it, just write it, and maybe by the end of the week you might actually have some information there that you can put together. But if you're like, oh, well, that was nothing, it was just one word, write it down anyway. Give yourself a chance, because the more comfortable you get with hearing that inner voice, writing it down, taking it serious, the clearer it's going to come for you.
All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get ready for our podcast. Those joined us just for the service, thank you. Namaste.
Thank
Satnam to
you.
you all.
If you want to hang out, though, it just takes us a few minutes to get set up for our podcast, Harmony for Humanity, and it's definitely worth the wait. So, hang
And
tight.
if you haven't yet, we'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps the channel and it helps us expand our reach.
Yes, awesome. All right, so any takers on the podcast today? All right, let's go.
It'll be my first one. I have to try.
Okay.
All right.
What are we gonna do?
So
We're
we're
going to
talking
talk
and being
about
vulnerable,
this.
which is exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
So that's why you're gonna join us.
I can do it.
Yeah.
You got this. You got this. I believe you. Hey, we're all just having a fun experience.
Yes. Yes.
Look, you being vulnerable just allows us to be vulnerable. Gives us
Yeah.
permission.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta fit our chairs
But
in.
isn't it just easier?
Actually, we
Like,
might
don't
need to
give
do it
up?
right
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Let's just
It might
put
be.
more
Yeah.
More-
Good spot.
space.
Now this does have more space
Thank
out here in
you.
the open.
And we got this one, and Tony's gonna just have to sit
There's a
nice and
chair
tall.
back
I will
there,
sit
too.
nice and tall.
Okay.
Let me be a wizard. Henry.
All right.
All right, so I just gotta shift the microphones and stuff.
Alright. Maybe I should go along the shorts. The run was spontaneous, guys. I wasn't
Alright.
expecting to do a run, but
Hey, sometimes the run chooses you.
honestly,
Yes.
it was one of those moments today.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a beautiful day. It's been a while.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Gotta get going.
Hey, it's legal here in Florida.
Exactly, man. And it's just an herb. It's just for good use, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Good love.
Okay. So we've never actually tried it like this before, just flipping it this way, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Hey, this is gonna work. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
so we need
fantastic.
one more.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Sit over.
Oh, you're not gonna be? You know, we'll make room, I promise.
Yeah, there's another chair right
Yeah,
here. I'll
no,
get
we
it.
got-
I got it.
We got more.
Come join
Yes.
us.
So because the microphones are somewhat further away, if we could just all remember to kind of project our voice.
All right.
I don't know.
And then probably put it back there, and then we'll scoot them slightly.
Forward.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, shoot, come forward. Yeah, y'all come forward,
Come on, brothers.
and we'll get in there. And then scoot them.
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
Get on in there, man. Get on in
That
there.
way you're not half cut off. You might as well scoot on in. I'm not gonna bite you. There we go. Okay. Yeah, everybody's in.
All right.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to talk to the camera. We'll see each other's responses through there. Alright. Alright. Welcome everyone to Lotus Flower Wellness Temple's podcast, Harmony for Humanity. We just had a temple service where we discussed, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed about conscious thought rewiring, essential or identity shift specifically, how to use the adjustment in our thoughts to reshape ourselves. So yeah.
Beautiful, yes, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna just jump right into it. So I'm Erin.
I'm Quinn.
I'm Christine.
I'm Dro.
And I'm Hyman.
All right, welcome everyone. So we're gonna get right into the questions. So we'll probably go, I'll start with Quinn and then we'll just move around in this way.
All right.
So what identity have you been operating from unconsciously that you are
This
aware of?
is a great question because it was actually something I stumbled upon yesterday. Like literally yesterday. I had a couple times when like I went to sleep and I woke up almost with like this awareness and this understanding that I didn't realize that I'd been living from a place of feeling like, you know, that lingering guilt and undeservingness, you know, like, oh well, like this feeling that like I had already fallen from grace to an extent, and I was no longer going to achieve my highest path in life. And what I felt was a reassurance that no, that is not the case. You know, I still have all the potential that I have always had, It's still there with me. It's still inside of me. And my intention has never changed. You know, the intention of my life has never become harmful or negative or like, you know, something where I intend to do any sort of like harm to others. So it's not, I have not become undeserving in any way of the path that is laid out.
Well, that is very mature of you to be aware of that and not jump into that critic of, okay, where did I go wrong, this, that, and the other. You're just, it sounds like to me you're accepting that this may be just preparing you for the next dimension of the very same path, but just integration of some of that and being aware that you're no longer crap talking yourself, right?
Right, yeah. Like a lot of what I feel like has been dragging me down is what's hidden in the shadows more than what's like up front and like, because I've already changed my open self-talk, you know, like what I regularly say to myself. But still, like, there are those things that are kind of tucked away that I don't even realize that I'm thinking, or I don't even realize that I'm putting into my mind, that, you know, from time to time they affect me unconsciously. And so, like, you know, it takes some digging. Sometimes it takes, like, just, you know, I might have, like, a revelation at some point. Realize, oh, wait, crap, I'm doing this. I didn't realize I was doing this whole time.
Yeah, well, yay. Well, give yourself a pat on the back because that is very, very consciously aware. So that is beautiful. All right, so moving to, then thank you so much for sharing. Moving to the next question. What identity are you consciously choosing now? Based off of what we discussed today, can you see anything that's provoking you to hold more tight to one identity than another past one?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the identity, like I said earlier, of kind of just embracing new experiences, and similar to you, you know, I've made mistakes in the past where I still hold on to that guilt, even though I know to let it go. Like you said, you know, that shadow, in the shadows it still lingers, and you have that feeling within yourself sometimes, but you know that's not good. But it's so much easier said than done to just let it go completely. And you know, Aaron, like you and I have worked on this the brief time that I've known you. But just embracing that identity of moving forward, knowing that life is always working for the best outcomes for all of us. You just have to continue on your path, and it doesn't matter what mistakes you've done before. It doesn't matter what's happened yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Always be open to receiving new experiences, new people. Life is always working in your favor. Continue to remind yourself that. I'm embracing that every day, every second, and just thank you.
Yes.
And I know it's something that we probably all struggle with. But yeah, it's really just something that maybe I've been trying to embrace more, you know.
That's the key word right there, embracing. You're consciously choosing to embrace it.
You know, and it can be especially hard, especially when, like, you know, others have witnessed your wrongdoing, they've assigned you a label, you know? Like, because, like, you can put your trust in other people sometimes more than you can put in yourself. And so, like, when you see other people looking down on you or thinking, oh, you did this terrible thing, how could you ever be good again? It can be very discouraging, and it can leave a lasting mark. So it's hard to just tell yourself, oh, well, like, I'm still good, I'm still, you know, I'm still a good person, I'm still, like, I just made a mistake, when, like, you've got all these fingers pointing, you know?
And I think more often than not, probably 99% of the time, those fingers are more often just your fingers pointing at yourself.
Yeah.
Most people,
Yeah.
they really don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Even, you know, and people forget. I mean, It's just we make things. It's human nature to make things so much more worse in our own heads than what the reality is. And just always be grateful too.
Yeah.
My friend today, this is like irrelevant but kind of relevant. He was like, there's something in the sink was broken. And I was like, oh, first world problems. You're living in a third story of a beautiful apartment in West Palm Beach. Like, yeah, you're complaining about that, and I get it. We're not complaining, whatever. But always be grateful for what you have, because it can always be so much worse and different. And practicing that gratitude really, I think, will shift your perspective as well.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's
Beautiful.
something I think we all need to remember.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Yes. All right. So, Dro, I have one for you.
Ooh.
So, what fear comes up when releasing an old identity for you?
What fear comes up when releasing our identity for me? I think not being good enough, right? I think everybody has that. For me, again, in the beginning of when we started all this, I mentioned my rising sign is Capricorn, and we all know Capricorns love to always be workaholics, and they're always nonstop. There always has to be a goal, and you never take the time to just smell the flowers, right? And just enjoy the wind, or even just enjoy being present, regardless of there being a wind. The wind is just being present, and so I think I try to be as present as I can now.
Right. Yeah, and I definitely feel that as a Capricorn sun. I even in the feeling of the wind, there's almost kind of a goal there. Like you're trying to create.
Yes.
This is the Zen feeling that I
was
want
looking
to
for.
create.
Yeah. That's the control aspect.
Yeah. So like you're even in your relaxed state, you're trying to create the state of being relaxed specifically. And if it's not that, you're like, I'm doing it wrong. Somehow.
Exactly.
So you can be harsh on yourself about that. So I definitely relate to that. And also just like, releasing an old identity, like there's kind of the fear that you can't really do it, or that you won't be able to live up to it. Like, especially when it comes to like the idea of releasing a habit or a behavior, and you look back to times when like, oh, I tried that for a time, and then I didn't do it, and I just went back to being the way that I always am.
Well, then you realize too is it's like, okay, well, this thing has gotten me to where I am now, and I've been using this thing to get me to where I am now for so long. It's so scary to just let this thing go, because now it's become a part of your identity. Now it's just not this thing. Now it's a part of you. It's leached onto your body, and so you kind of have to cut it off and scrape it off, and that takes time, because then it has to be mended, and then it has to heal, and you got to scrape it off again, and then let it heal again. So it's like, I think it's like that.
Like a way that I've heard about it in like a neurological sense, we have these pathways that form in our brain. They're almost like little troughs where water passes through, and then when we're trying to build a new habit, we're digging a new channel. Right. And the new channel starts off shallow. It's hardly going to get any of that water coming through. Most of it's going to slide on through the big old channel that's already there. But like as you continue to dig that, eventually, like the water starts to trickle into that new channel, and like once you dig it deep enough, it gathers more water than the old one.
Beautiful. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. All right. So now, built off of what the last question, what support do you feel like you need to reinforce the new identity when you're leaving an old identity behind? What support do you feel like you need for that?
Well, definitely support from my friends and loved ones, the people I choose to be in my life. And I go to nature a lot for healing. I spend a lot of time in the forest. I spend a lot of time at the sea or swimming or just being tuned with the things of nature, and that supports me a lot.
Yeah.
Realizing spiritual feelings of my higher self. And I read and singing and painting.
Beautiful, yeah.
Basically just being around really lovely people that are on the same
Yay, awesome.
I think that definitely also you being cheered on for like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Having people recognize and appreciate the change in you.
Yes, that helps a lot. That definitely helps a lot.
I want to say something. So, I recognize that, for me especially, and for you probably too as well, this is our first time doing this, and for you
Yes,
too,
it's
right?
my first
So,
time.
the entire time, I'm absolutely nervous. I'm absolutely nervous. I don't know if I'm going to get judged or not, even though I know I'm not, you know, and realistically, I don't care because I love myself anyways.
Right.
But at the same time, it's still that lingering, like, "Hey, I don't know, they might, you know, everybody might say the wrong thing," like, so I know that all of us kind of have that little subconscious kind of like, it's kind of poking at you.
Yeah,
You know?
I think it's kind of like that instinctual, like tribal brain thought
Yeah.
that like, oh, what if I get kicked out of the tribe?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I
I
don't
can't.
fit in.
And it's a survival thing because like back then, if you got kicked out of the tribe, well, you got to survive on your own now. That's a whole lot harder than surviving with like a group of people.
And they got the nearest water source for
Yeah.
a long walk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It
what
means
if-
you gotta get away from their water source too.
Yeah.
You're not just kicked out.
yeah, like what if they're keeping you away from their water source now? Now you gotta find your own.
And
That's
to that
right.
point, especially, I'm sure the three of us, like as a man too, it's a little bit harder to like be more vulnerable, just because growing up, the norm. Maybe it's like a Latin thing, but I'm sure it's Caribbean talk culture.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know how it is, and like you're just taught like, dude, suck it up and get on with it.
Yeah.
And even though there's like a little bit of truth in that, it's still so important to find a community, friends, whatever, to open up and be vulnerable with.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it really does help. You can't just have. You have to speak it. You can't just have it all in your head all the time.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, and like for me, I've had a lot more ease with like vulnerability, if only because like I try to surround myself with people I could talk to, and I enjoy talking about myself. So like it's something that I like to do, even to the point sometimes of like what I fear internally to be a bit of annoyance to the other person that I've just been talking about myself all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's
what
people's
about you?
favorite subjects.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what about you? What's going on with you? But yeah, like I also like I always found like the company of like women more appealing because I felt more like I could talk to them and they had like a deeper understanding like emotionally of certain things. So like I just kind of found myself more drawn to people that I could talk to, rather than like feeling like I can't talk about anything because like, I have so many things I have to talk about.
Beautiful. Well, since you are the one that's been here for all 4 of the services within this series, this question goes to you, Quinn.
All right.
How has this 4-week series shifted your thinking?
I think a lot of it is stuff that I have learned, whether through podcasts or like, in the course of my entire spiritual journey. A lot of it is stuff that I have learned, even just stemming from the immediate like therapist level. Oh, your self-talk really influences how you feel about yourself. I definitely was in a group of friends where we shit talked ourselves. We're like, oh, I'm just a piece of garbage. Like I'm human trash or whatever. Like we had that kind of thing where we'd be self-deprecating, and it was like annoying, kind of jabbing humor, but at the same time, your subconscious takes that in. Right? Even if you're being humorous, even if you're just being self-deprecating, you're like, oh, I don't really feel that way, but like, do you? Because like, you start to on some level. right? You start to feel like, oh, well, you know, that's your go-to humor, that's your go-to thing. It starts to be kind of how you feel about certain things. And also, you know, even started getting into like spirituality at that time. I had friends who would laugh at the spiritual stuff. So like I felt like kind of like, oh, I can't really be super open about how much like I am interested in this stuff. You know, I didn't actually understand the full astrological chart thing until after that group of friends ended up leaving. Which, you know, ended up being a blessing in disguise. I you know, came to understand myself better. Yeah. And so like this 4-week session, it's really a reiteration of a lot of stuff that I've learned. But it is like, it is good to repeat these steps because, like it says, repetition. Sometimes, like, you know, it's been a long time since you've learned a lesson, and a lot of times we can look at people and go, oh, they already learned that lesson, right? Like, they already learned that lesson. They've been through that experience once. That should have taught them. No, that's not how our brain works. We don't learn something once and then it's done. You know, we learn something over and over and over again, and gradually we change ourselves through that.
Yeah.
So this has been a good refresher. It's brought up some things that I've had buried, you know, like I said, that whole feeling of undeservedness and, you know, like not being worthy of the path that I was on. You know, I was able to shake that off and be like, no, I'm still on that path. I haven't lost grace. I haven't, you know, nothing's stopping me from still fulfilling my highest path and my highest timeline. You know, all that's stopping me is me. You know, if I don't want to do it, then I'm not gonna do it. But like, if I keep seeking out that path will find me.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Well, does anyone have anything else that they would like to add?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then I would like to just say to our online audience, if you have any questions or have anything that you would like to say, please feel free to add it into the comments. And if there are some topics that you would like for us to talk about and tackle, then also comment those as well, and maybe we'll consider that for the future. But thank you so much for joining us. Everyone have a amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. All right, and send this out to somebody that you know it could support, and share some love, send it out. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
That was awesome.
Yeah.